The Master Tavern Keeper's History of the Old World.
Oh, my goodness. So the crane that was dangling the dwarf submersible itself fell into the harbour?
Ah, yes, indeed. Apparently, the mechanical claws they'd used to secure the crane wagon to the wooden quay had actually cracked some of the planks and beams of the quay. Then, as they were using the crane to lower the submersible, as well as move it around in the harbour's waters, they had exacerbated this damage, causing the crane to creak and strain, working harder and harder, and in turn inflicting further damage to the structures below it, until, finally, the very wooden boardwalk beneath the crane wagon's wheels cracked and broke, bringing the whole shebang tumbling down into the harbour's waters.
Och, but without this here crane, how are they going to go about getting Drogor up out from the depths? Obviously, assuming that the crane itself hadn't crashed down into the underwater barrel thing that he was stuck inside of and smashed it to smithereens.
Well, that's a very good point. Luckily, one of the wagon's wheels had become caught in one of the quay's splintered supporting poles, so it didn't itself actually come crashing down onto the submersible. However, that was the only piece of good luck for the dwarves. Drogor was still trapped at the bottom of the harbour, and his rescue, before he ran out of air and suffocated, was now the dilemma facing the dwarf sea engineer Damin Cragbrow and his 5 apprentices. Key 57 of the harbour of Barak Varr in the year 1476 of the imperial calendar.
Oh no, apprentices! Get off the crane! The quay is cracking under its weight!
Avast, y'all! Not this again! I told you to be careful with the securing clause. Now our trusting Anthraga is trapped down at the bottom of the harbour. Think on this, apprentices. It'll look very bad if we've once again accidentally killed off one of the pilots of our inventions. Are you listening, Apprentice Roanoke? Now, don't you think for a fish's breath that I'm not fully aware that every member of the guild has already taken a not-so-secret oath to never volunteer to get in one of our machines? So, by Grugny's leather breeches, if we don't get this Anthraga out alive, I guarantee we'll never be able to get any volunteers at all, even from outside the guild. Avast, y'all! It was hard enough convincing this one, and he'd spent the past few decades underground. So, if you lot don't want to end up in the test seat yourselves, you better pull your thumbs out and carefully follow what I'm gonna tell you.
Yes,
Aye, Mr. Engineer.
Lo, to begin with, Apprentice Cargrim, you're the best climber here. I'll need you to crawl over that topple-over crane and get our end of the submersible's voice pipe. And yes, of course, you should take some tools, which is well secured to the inside of the control shack. Just be sure you don't do any damage to the pipe itself. Oh, and don't fall into the water. You know you'll sink like a sack of old iron. As for the rest of you, find some rope and secure that crane to what's left of the key. And please, Apprentice Tharkin, stop gawping. Shut that mouth of yours already. Listen up, everyone. Accidents will happen, but it's how you deal with them that is the measure of a dwarf.
The Boyer's Brew Tavern, Sal Carlton, in the year 1551 of the Imperial Calendar.
But the young scalawag, whilst damning Cragbrow and his 5 young apprentices were messing about with their crane, I was not idle. I did not know exactly what was going on up top, and my only inkling that something was amiss was that the submersible had suddenly bounced onto the deck of the sunken boat. But I'd soon righted myself, and it had given me enough slack to make my way into the captain's cabin ahead of me. Admittedly, all had gone silent on the voice pipe too, but I assumed some mechanical failure up top had dragged damning away. Nothing to concern myself with, as I now had something very real to occupy my time with. Something that very much distracted me. I am a dwarf after all.
Oh, what do you mean, Drogor?
Ah! Why, I mean that Cassio the Cat's huge hoard of gold was piled up high in front of me, of course. I quickly busied myself putting handful after handful of it into the net strung to the underbelly of the submersible. It's amazing what a salve to fear and panic a huge pile of gold can be.
No doubt.
But meanwhile, back on the surface.
Key 57 of the harbour of Barak Varr in the year 1476 of the Imperial Calendar.
Easy does it now, Apprentice Gargrim. So long as you don't lose your footing, you'll soon be at the control shack. That's it. That's it.
I've got it, Master.
Good. Now bring that voice pipe over here, and let's see how our Anthragar has been getting on. Can you hear me, Anthragar?
Ah, Khan, where have you been? What's been going on up there? You've been very quiet.
I was busy. We had a slight mechanical malfunction that required my attention.
Ah, I thought so. I've been busy too. Busy collecting up all this gold.
Ah, I knew you were the right dowie for this job. Good. I've asked ye. There is one little thing that's happened as a result of our little incident. I'm afraid we won't be able to bring you back to the surface with the crane.
What? That's no little thing, Master Engineer. You're saying I'm trapped at the bottom of the harbour in this bloody barrel, aren't you?
The Boyer's Brew Tavern, Sal Carlton, in the year 1551 of the Imperial Calendar.
Aye, my young scalawag. I remember Suddenly, all my fears assailing me at once, like a hot fire flood running up my back and neck. I felt stifled and dizzy, and then I must have blacked out.
Key 57 of the harbour of Barak Varr in the year 1476 of the imperial calendar.
Anthragar! 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 Can you hear me, Anthragar?
Damn in!
Praise Valia. Avast ye, Anthragar. You don't need to worry. You don't need the crane to come back to the surface. Dangling from your submersible are ballasts. Heavy lengths of rock, attached by ropes. You should see a handle in the center of the thick glass window at the front of the barrel. Unscrew that, and it'll release the ballasts.
Understood. Unscrewing it now. Valia be praised. I'm starting to rise.
Apprentices, grab your hooks and get ready to drag the submersible in when it surfaces.
The Boyer's Brew Tavern, Sol Carlton, in the year 1551 of the imperial calendar.
And so, my young scalawag, I finally surfaced, and the sea engineers got me over to the quayside and out of that stifling barrel. The first thing we all did next was roll the thing out of the water and check the net on its belly. It was there, secure amongst all of Cassio's gold. The compass. The compass of finding. At last, I could now go and find my brother.